Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do, get your hydraulic jack, have a block of wood. Do not let your jack go up against your oil pan, because your oil pan is aluminum and it will crack. So you want to have that block of wood for cushion. And what you want to do is jack it up, set it right about there, just put a little tension on it, and leave it just like that. Alright? We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is remove our motor mount. But before we do that, it's got this bracket right in the back that's got to get out of the way. It's held on by two 13mm bolts. Now this one's like tucked in up under the fender. So what I'm using is a 12-inch 3/8 drive extension and my 3/8 drive 13mm swivel socket. And this one back here, we don't want to take out. Only thing I'm going to do is just loosen that up. Then we're going to go up here to this one. Now you don't need a swivel, you can use a straight. But being that I got it already set up and all, I'm going to leave it up there. And this one, you're going to remove. Then that bracket will swing out of the way. Put your bolt right back. Somewhat. What the heck, man? Put your bolt back in there, a couple of threads. Now we got 4 bolts to remove. We got 1, 2, that is loose. 3, and then on the other side of here, there's number 4. Let me see what sizes these are. This one. Okay, these are an 18mm, and those on there, nope, looks like a 16mm. Yes, it is. All right, so, or 16mm, or a 5/8. Do over here. I'm using my coilless impact with my 4-inch wobble extension. And of course that ain't gonna loosen up one of them. And what I can do here is get my 3/8 drive ratchet to break this one loose. Then switch back over to my cordless impact.
Why not use your DeWalt?
Because I don't have a 16mm on my half-inch impacts over there. Then I would have to run all the way to the truck, and I ain't got time to do that.
I see.
You gotta keep Siffy happy. All right.
Whatever.
Now for the other 2, we switch over to the DeWalt. Now this one is already loose and all. Go to this one. Alright. Let's take our mount and pick it up. And this is a good time to check your mount. Check for the rubber. Make sure it's not worn out or anything, because this can cause a serious vibration. And I'm not sure how the heck is this mount. No, okay, this one. Man, I'm moving it pretty much, but it still looks pretty good though. I don't know. It's kind of moving a lot, ain't it?
Yeah.
And I think this might be a liquid mount.
Put it on the list.
Yep. All right, let's put this to the side with the bolts, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. Now we got this bracket right here. Now this bracket is held on by 3 16mm or 5/8 bolts. But to get to them, you got to either jack the engine up or lower it down. Let's jack this up first. And what I'm going to do is, because there's not much clearance over here between the alternator and the fans. So what you want to do is just take your hand, and you can move the engine over a little bit. I'm going to jack this up. As you can see, I'm jacking it up pretty much. Now, what you want to do is get your 16 millimeter 3/8 drive socket, and there's going to be a bolt right inside here. And how am I going to see this? On the other side, it's going to be right up under the AC line. Let me get this bolt in there first. Dang it. How am I going to do this? Because this hand has to go over there.
So let me go over there to the side.
There you go. You got it in there. See what socket is?
Yeah.
That's where the other bolt is. So let's get that one first. Get your 3/8 drive ratchet. And take that bolt out completely. Then switch over and take this, where's it at? This bolt out completely. Alright, let's get those out and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got these two bolts out, and you notice the one on this side is longer than the one on that side. Now guys, right now this bracket is not supposed to be loose, but it is, which means they didn't tighten up that bolt at the bottom, which sucks. Now what we're going to do now is slowly lower down the engine. Okay, I'm just going to lower it down till the bracket is just below the frame of the vehicle. Alright, and then we're going to come over to the side, and the first thing we're going to have to do is take off this tire. Get this tire off, and these little plugs, I hate these plugs right here. We're going to get these off and get this tire off. Alright guys, we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get this tire off. Now these are little caps right here. Even though there's hex openings right there, they're not. So take your screwdriver, and what you want to do is put the screwdriver in there, use the rim as like a prime point, and pop those right out. Don't twist them, because, let me get one out. Inside is hexagon, just like the nut. So you'll mess it up and won't go back. It actually meant to slide on. Again, just put the screwdriver in there, use the rim to pop that right out, which is going to uncover your 17 millimeter lug bolts. These are bolts. These are not lug nuts like other cars. So you're going to take your 17 millimeter deep with your coilless impact, and you're going to take those out. All right, let's get all of them done. Get all of them out. Get the tire off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. The next thing we're going to do is remove our end fender well. Now, there's a bunch of T20 Torx bolts and screws going all around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And around here, running the front, looks like somebody broke them off right here. If you look right there in the front. So make this quick, guys. Definitely get you a cordless something. And I got my T20 Torx socket right here. And go ahead and take all those screws out. This will make quick work of all that. Alright, let's get all of them out, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, whoops. We got all the screws out of here. We just want to work that cover down. Man, do I got anything? I got a bolt missing. There it is. Whoops. Right inside here, guys. I got one screw right inside there. Dang it, gotta get an extension for that. Nope. Alright, let me get an extension and get that one more out, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, got that one off. And let's take this out of the way. See, now we can see the whole front of our engine. Now, what I'm gonna see right there, guys, you got that 16mm bolt right there. That's going to that bracket as well, and that's where that one's loose. So let's get our 16mm deep 3/8 drive, and let's get that bolt out. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, got my 16mm deep, 6-inch 3/8 drive extension. I got my coilless impact. Finished taking that bolt out. Now let's go back up to the top over here. Watch yourself, Civvy. All right, get our bracket. Jack the engine up a little bit to help us out. Okay, drag it up more. Let's get this cover, front cover guy. Now this top of this cover is held on by a clip right here. Just pop it out, and right on the other side, pop that out. Just get that out of the way just like that. So then we can take this bracket right up out of here. Alright, let's put this in the party line with the bolts, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get our drive belt off. Now here's your tensioner right here. Now, you can put a wrench onto here, and then you're going to move it clockwise. Or what I like to do is take some vice grips, hook it right there. And just like I said, you're going to move it clockwise, and as you can see down there, you can see the tension comes off the belt. So you want to bring it up, take your belt off, release the tension, take your vice grips off, take your belt off. We'll take it off in a minute. Now, remember these two bolts we took out on the top for that bracket? Now we're going to take out the third one right there, and that was a 13mm. Take out the third one, and that's going to take off your whole belt tensioner right here. Alright. Take it off. And let's go put this to the party line, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're going to remove the harmonic balancer, and it's held on by 4 6mm hex bolts. So I'm going to use my 6mm hex socket, 3/8 drive, put it into one, my coilless impact, and take that right out. You notice I'm making sure that the hex socket is in there before that one looks like it's been stripped out or something. Son of a biscuit, man. So when you get a problem like that, guys,
Wait.
hey,
It's rusty in there.
when you get a problem like this, try to get it positioned where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna try my socket right here. No. Then get a hammer or something. And you might only have one shot at this. So you know what, let me go get a hammer to make sure that's in there. And I'll be right back. Alright, let's get a good, got that one. Let's get a last one out. Okay, I don't think that center bolt holds on. Nope. Okay, we got that off. All right, so let's set this down. And now, since we're up under here, we got 4 10mm bolts. We need to get those out. So let's get our socket, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, before we go down there and do those 4 bolts, we got one right there, a 10mm. So I'm going to use a 10mm shallow, 3/8 drive, my cordless impact. We're going to take that one bolt out. And then, now, let's go to the bottom and get the other 4. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, now I got my 10mm, same 10mm, and I got my 6" 3/8 drive extension, and I got cordless impact. And let's go ahead, take out the 4 bolts. All of them are the same length. Then take your cover and bring it right down. Okay, let's set all this in the party line. Or what you can do, guys, is take your 5 bolts and put them right back into place. I'm gonna put them in the party line with the cover. Alright, let's get that done and we'll be right back. Alright, guys, there's 2 ways of aligning the timing marks on this, well, for the crankshaft. One, you got your cover right here, the one that we took off 4 bolts. This is actually, we took off 4 bolts and it was like this.
Can you take out 5?
4 bolts for the bottom. Okay, yeah, 5. You see that little indentation right there?
You ready for an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, I asked you a
I'll
question.
let you know
I asked a question. A question deserves an answer.
Heavens.
Now, let's turn this around. Do you see that little indentation right there?
Ew. Yes.
You can actually put this back on. First you had to put this cover back on, and then put this back on, and you turn this until those 2 line up. Just like that. That's one way of doing it.
I don't understand something though.
What?
How does that line up the timing belt?
That puts the well, it's not for the timing, but what it does was for the timing, yeah. But it puts the engine in top dead center. The first number 1 in top dead center when that's lined up. When that is lined up, when that mark is lined up just like that, let's go over here to the engine. There's going to be a mark on the cam gear. Let me see, just a little bit. There's a mark right there on the cam gear.
Where? Oh. Okay.
And that's going to line up to this mark right here on the valve cover.
Well, it's supposed to, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Now, you can either line it up that way. Now, no matter what, this mark is supposed to line up. Now, but this, the other way of doing this, if you got it apart like I do, or you can put it back together, is you got to come over to this side of the engine, and there's a hole in the bell housing that we're going to line up. But before we do that, you got to remove the coil. Now, to remove the coil on this, it's got 3 5mm hex bolts. But then you got to unplug it as well. And, let's get those out. Let's get those out first. So what I'm going to do is I got my 5mm hex, 1/4" drive, and I got my reducer, 3/8 to 1/4" drive, 1/4". Got my 6" 3/8 drive extension. You can use shorter. And my 3/8 drive ratchet. I'm going to go ahead and take those 3 out. Alright, let's get that done. We'll be right back. But guys, this bolt right here, I don't know, guys, something's wrong. This thing is really tight coming out. Oh, I just broke. I just felt that broke. Sucks. Guys, you don't have to worry about the firing. The firing order is 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes to cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4. Or, if you prefer, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so let's get that off. Alright, you know what, guys? We're just gonna unplug this whole thing. Oh man, that thing broke. I don't know. Well, two will hold it in. We're all good with that. And let's get this out of the way. Actually, let's go ahead, unplug, spark plug, turn it over. The infamous connector. You know how to do that. Push it into the connect. Push the connector in. Push that little tab out, and it'll unplug. All right, let's get all this out, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, got my screwdriver. You see this opening right here? That inside there is your flywheel. Now we're gonna turn the crank until we see a mark, a little like an oval on the crankshaft, on the flywheel, and it's going to line up right towards down here, right towards the edge. And when it lines up down there, our camshaft should be lined up. Now what I'm going to do is bunch this up a little bit. Spray it and clean that up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take a 19 millimeter wrench. If I've got one. Alright, looks like I don't. Oh, here we go. Now, if you come over here to the front of the engine, yeah.
I just hit myself up. Come on. Okay, come on.
Alright, so I'm going to take my 19 millimeter wrench, put it right here, or you can use a 19 millimeter 12-point socket, and you're going to turn this clockwise. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm actually going to keep turning this. Because my main thing here, I want to see if this guy got this timing marks on correct. And it looks like he definitely messed up on the tension. Look at this. Look how this belt is flapping around. That is not supposed to be that way. He's supposed to have did the tension on the side and put tension using the tensioner right here. So that sucks, man. That hopefully it didn't jump timing and mess the valve up. So I'm going to turn this around until I can get my timing mark close to the mark over here, and then we're going to go over there and hopefully see that that oval show up. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, if you can see our mark right there, we're just about there to this mark. So what we're going to do now is go over down to that opening and see if that oval is coming up to that. Now, if it doesn't, that don't mean that we're off. It just means that we just got to rotate one more time. Yeah. All right.
And hope that it comes up.
All right. So let's go over here to the other side. That's good. All right. And if you see it, I'm gonna turn.
Wait a minute, I think I may.
Huh?
See, I don't know if that's rust or a mark. You see anything? What it, like what is that right there?
I do see something.
Yeah, I think I see it.
Oh yeah, and also there's an actual 0 on the other side. Man, this is some bull. I don't even have a wire brush to get in there or anything, guys. Let me see if I can spray it a little bit. That definitely looks like a 0. Guys, I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we cleaned it up. It looks like a big 0 in there. Do it look like a big 0 in there?
Yeah.
But I still don't see some kind of mark. This is a dumb setup. Alright, tell you what, this is what we're gonna do, guys. Now over here we're not fully lined up yet. What we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna go ahead. Let's go over to the front of the engine. Let me lower this down a little bit so we can see what I'm doing. Alright, let's go over here. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to put this lower half in. Just put 2 bolts in it. Then put our harmonic balancer on. Now you're putting your harmonic balancer on, you're going to have a little dimple that sticks out right there. It's going to either go into that hole or that hole. Now, if you put it into one of them, if you lined it up to one, well, that one lines up. But if you try to get to the other one, the bolt holes won't line up. So you can only put it into one. And then we're going to line up this mark also as well. And we're going to see to make sure that lines up. What the heck am I doing? Alright, so let's get these in there and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got it back on. You can see our white mark right there. I put a white mark on the harmonic balancer. And it's got to go right there to be lined up. Now look at the distance on that. Now we're going to come up here. And what I'm going to do, I got to jack the engine back up. And here's our here's our mark on the cam, and it's got to go line up to there. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me see some here. If you're right on, is it this tooth right here? Yeah. Wait a minute.
It looks like it only has to go 1 tooth. Right?
That looks right. Let me get the front. Not going off of tooth. Yeah, good. So yeah, 1 or 2 teeth. That's way off compared to the bottom. That's way off. So what I'm going to do is, you look up on the top, and I'm going to turn the engine on the bottom.
And tell you when it.
And tell me when that. Yeah, tell me when that lines up, and I'm gonna tell you whether I'm lined up at the bottom. As soon as I find the socket and all the. All right. Ready?
Okay, that. Wait, maybe go just a little bit here. Get that. Is that right?
Okay, that is right there lined up. Let's jack this engine up. Actually, no. Let it down. And look where we are here. Off. We're off like 2 teeth. So now the suck part, guys, I gotta wonder now. Is this engine running this way because of a bad valve, or is it because we're off just that much?
Well, no, you can't do that. To test it out and put this back in the correct timing, I mean, it would be a lot of work for you to put things back.
And come to find out, we had a bad valve.
Or something with the head.
Or what we can do is, remember how the test we did on the cobalt? What we can do is put the timing marks back to where they're supposed to be, pull out the spark plugs, put air in the cylinder, and hear it.
Yeah.
And see if it goes before we break this down. I mean, it sucks because we're halfway.
There.
You know, yeah, and then, I honestly don't think they did a good job of doing this. So I'm not even gonna take a chance. I'm pulling this apart. I'm not gonna take a chance, guys. We're gonna pull this. This guy definitely messed up. Now, going to that timing mark in the back. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to line up this mark over here. Okay, I'm going to line that up. And let's go over there and let's see if we can see this mark they talking about. You see anything?
Oh, I have to find my spot first. Yeah. I do see it, but it's off. I do see something.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to be looking for, but I see something.
Yeah, I do too. Now, where are they saying it's supposed to... They said it's supposed to be lined up, but we know we at top dead center. From the front, we lined up. So whatever's supposed to be lined up here, whatever's supposed to be lined up against that mark, is supposed to be lined up right now. And I'm just not seeing that. I'm not seeing that at all. This is stupid. That's what I see. Stupid.
German engineering.
Farfisnugen. Alright guys. We're gonna pull this apart. And we're gonna put in the engine at top dead center and we're gonna see what we got down here. Alright, let's and also this whole thing back here is leaking like crazy, man. I don't know what the heck. Look at that. That looks broken back there. It looks like it was pouring out antifreeze.
What is that?
It's like a cooling housing or thermostat housing. So let's go get this apart. We'll be right back.